Well, thank you very much. Good afternoon. Altamira Gold is based on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and I'm a geologist. I've spent most of my adult life in South America, lived for over 30 years in South America, and I've been living for the past 12 years in Brazil. We, as a management group, our adrenaline is finding mines, as it probably is for many of you guys as well. And we've got several under our belt, both in Bolivia and Brazil to this date. And we have a small resource on one of our properties called Cajueiro. And we have a belt which was originally classed as a gold belt, but recently, I'll show you, has now become an interesting copper belt. We've got several technical people on the team, myself, Alan Carter, who's the director and chairman of the board, Sergio Aquino, who is our country manager, who set up the Cerabí mine in Pará, and two geologists on the board as well. Tight share structure, less than 50 million shares outstanding, 26 million warrants, and market capital of about 8 or 9 million right now. So where are we? We're in the central part of Brazil. We're in Mato Grosso. We're in a cow country, soya country, very good access. 40 years ago, it was all jungle. And you can see we've got a big land position. We've got 250,000 hectares of land. And we selected these areas because the local miners were in there for 20 years of those last 40 years. And they have taken out 10 million ounces of gold from the area. It's an overlooked belt. It's a completely overlooked belt. People have looked at the Tapajós, but they've just, for some reason, ignored the Alta Floresta belt. You can see that the infrastructure is changing daily. It's now opened up. There are roads. There are big hydroelectric schemes, so much so that we now have a power line running through our property, Cajueiro. We've got a small resource on Cajueiro, 500,000 ounces of just under a gram gold. But this is the upside on Cajueiro. So those anomalies are pretty large. Just one down there on the bottom right-hand corner is 3 kilometers by 3 kilometers, completely untrenched, undrill tested. And our resource is on the area in the center there where you can see the black dots. So much less than 10% of the area has been tested to date. The story changed at the beginning of last year. So we thought that the structural control was northeast, southwest in this area. And when we started doing the trenching at the beginning of 2017 to find the extension of that area, Baldo, east, we discovered that there are east-west structures. These east-west structures are brecciated. They're between 3 and 15 meters wide. And the strike length of the most northerly one there, which was the first one we discovered, is going to end up being about 1.5 kilometers. Just in that Baldo area, we think there will be 8 of these structures. So our little resource of 500,000 ounces is going to grow rapidly in 2018. We believe we're going to turn this into, very, very quickly, into a multi-million ounce gold camp. And we're going to increase the grade enormously. We do a lot of trenching. We've done met testing, and everything looks good. The infrastructure's fine. We've got all the permits now in the mining phase, and we're on the last phase of the environmental license. But the most important thing in the area for us, and something which we weren't really bargaining on, was that last year there was a staking rush in September 2017. Anglo American and Nexa Resources in 2 weeks in 2017 claimed 3 million hectares in the belt. Unheard of really in most areas in South America, and the reason being that they found the first copper porphyry in the area. It's called Jaca, and they've drilled several holes into this. Results haven't been publicly announced, but we understand it's a very important find and a very important project for Anglo American. That's led us to look around in our areas for the possibility of copper. So if you've got a belt with hidden porphyries in it, with these satellite gold deposits. Why shouldn't we have them in our area? So that was the area beginning of September last year. That was the area at the end of September last year. And we're the only junior in the center of the belt. We've got 250,000 hectares, we've got 12 projects, and we've got projects which were located because of their historic gold production. We've also been very active recently to make sure that any holes in the claim map are picked up by us and not by anybody else. So in the Santa Elena area, we've increased our property position to over 60,000 hectares now. And lo and behold, you know, we'd really overlooked the southern part of the belt, but we've just started looking at it, and yesterday, I think it was yesterday, a press release went out where you can see some very big gold numbers. It's very early stage mapping. We've done grab sampling over the area, and accompanying all this geological work we've been doing, we can see copper in the area as well, up to almost 1% copper. So we're quite bullish about this, because if you just look at the map here, Jaca was discovered away from the gold garimpos. It was discovered only because of a copper in soil anomaly. It was discovered on the third drill hole, and for some reason our properties are major areas of mineralization separated by areas of no mineralization. And now that we're finding the east-west structures with the brecciation, we believe that there will be some sort of deeper source in the area. Apiacaz, if we'd had enough in our wallets, we'd have been in there as well, doing trenching and drilling. But just look at the surface numbers. The numbers are multi-gram numbers with large strike extent on them. And it's certainly an area that we will be presenting to the exploration geologists for trenching and drilling in the near future. And if you look at the rocks we're picking up there, they've got all the right sort of characteristics. The structural preparation is east-west and northeast-southwest. And we believe as well that we will shortly find copper credits in there. We've seen one or two areas where copper's appearing in both Apiacaz, Cajueiro, and Santa Elena. And we think that will move us forward in the future. A small company like Altamira can't do all this on its own. So what's been happening over the last few months is that several of the majors have been looking at us to see if any of our areas are viable for joint ventures. So what will we be doing for the next few months? Well, we'll be trenching in Cajueiro and drilling in Cajueiro. We'll be upping that resource, taking the 431 101 way further ahead of the 500,000 ounces we've got, bring the grade up. And we've also been really active since October last year. So we've taken all our airborne geophysics from Cajueiro. We've reinterpreted that. We've generated 14 deeper seepage anomalies in that area, which we'll be following up in the next couple of months. We have contracted a porphyry expert to work alongside us, and we've been looking at the areas around Santa Elena for copper mineralization. So I think you'll see us on the news releases over the next few months. And hopefully, as the only junior in the area, we're going to make a bit of noise there. So thank you very much.